Back to another video. We're here in Fossa on the farm of Denny Healy-Rae and his sons. Here's what's coming up today. Around, and the first thing I see is a cow, the young calf. You got any bed last night, Denny? I see no bales here in the yard. It's a big long peter silage. I see it all.
We still have the single chop harvester.
I am Kerry and I'm proud to represent the people of Kerry, and no one comes before the people of Kerry with me.
What have you done, boys?
To hell with you, Joe. I bring that friend sourcing. I'm here in Fossa in the farm of Denny Healy-Rae. It's a blustery all day outside, and I'm looking here around, and the first thing I see is a cow, the young calf. You got any bed last night, Denny? You were farming all your life.
Well, I was in bed for a very small bit, but too easy to sleep these times with what's coming on tomorrow.
Right.
And I know that Patty, my son, was seeing after the cattle here and has been doing a great job calving cows and seeing after the whole thing here for me.
Right. Besides the farming, of course, you were involved in machinery. You have the bar. You're a politician. How do you fit it all in?
Well,
you got any bed?
Well, my main focus now is politics, and have been, especially since I got elected to Dáil in 2016. I have to give full commitment to the people that I'm representing because that's what I promised to do, and that's what I promised to keep doing if I get elected again tomorrow, or get elected that I come out the right side of the count on Saturday.
A lot of farmers vote through, didn't you?
A lot of farmers do, and I'm hoping that they will continue to vote to vote and support me, because since I went up there, I've been constantly raising issues, and as you and I and all of us know, farmers have been vilified and being victimized, and they're playing a very important role and always have done. They have new methods of stopping and preventing pollution, and they're doing their level best. And I say they're the custodians of the land, and all they want to do is to hand it down in a better or the same shape that they got it from their fathers or their mothers or whoever they inherited from. I was always proud to be a farmer, and I actually bought this farm back in the early 90s, and I took out a loan for it, and at that time the farm paid off the loan. You couldn't do that today, and with the price land has got. I'm proud to be a farmer. I'm proud to work alongside the likes of John Egan and all the different fellas that are doing their level best, just trying to exist. And that's why day after day I went down into the Agricultural Committee raising the issues that the farmers have asked me to raise. And I'm very proud to have done that. You're after saying an awful lot of things there that are actually true. And that's the problems that I see for the continuation of farming. And they are vital for food security. Where I see the big problem is it's very hard for young fellas to start out farming, because it's a 7-day week and a 24-hour-a-day job. The cows don't lie down, or they do need attention for the weekends. And to see in all the other jobs that young fellas might take on, they finish early Friday evening and they have the weekend to themselves, and they can finish at 5 or 6 o'clock. That's not the way with farmers.
Then they get their pay every week. The farmer have to wait till the end of the year to get any money.
That's true, you see, and it's often the case. Whatever bit of farm payments that they get, they have to dig into that to pay the bills, and that's what I see is so very, very wrong. Because what the government and the Department of Agriculture now are doing is try to make farmers pay farmers to let their land viable, and the fellas that are producing the food and running their farms, they're getting very little assistance at all.
It's time to go a while now. I used to reclaim mountains and everything. No, they won't ever reclaim fields.
No, sure. And that's the thing, John, that I was very interested in doing, draining farms for farmers, trying to improve their land. And they actually got grants to do it at that time.
They did.
And I was
and it paid some of them to have done the job sometimes.
It paid them to do the work. And they only did the work that they could see that they'd benefit of improving the land. But now we see a totally different attitude. They actually want they actually want farmers to block the drains and stop the flow of water and to make swamps out of them. And I actually broke my leg draining my own farm above my father's farm above in Coologues and Kilgarvan. That's the truth on the 7th of February 1981. And it is ridiculous to think that farmers are told to block them drains now in many instances. They want to flood Ireland.
They want to do it with the small farmer, really.
Yeah, small farm. And look, we're only a small speck on the whole national, international, communities.
Farms are small here, yeah.
Very small.
And bad land.
And very bad land. And fellas haven't improved. And it is ridiculous to think that farmers now are being told to let places idle and make them useless again.
Denny, how do you think you have helped farmers since you got elected, including young farmers?
Well, first of all, I have the experience and the knowledge of what farmers need, and I understand it. And it's not rocket science for me because I know the issues. I know what they're looking for. I can understand what they want. And I've done different things, raised so many things above in Darlane. And one of the things I'm proud to have done is brought the farming course where young farmers are trying to complete their course to be an accomplished farmer and to get their green cert. I'm glad to have been brought here to Kilgarvan because it makes it's kind of central for many young fellas in many parts of Kerry and West Cork to come to. It's easier to come to Kilgarvan rather than going up the country somewhere to the Midlands and travelling big distance.
We're beef farmers, John, and we have been, as you know, since we were able to walk. We've been here on the farm and we like it, and I bring my own young lads with me farming. We're proud to be from rural Ireland and we're proud to be working for the farmers. We work for all communities in County Kerry, but I suppose farming is the one thing we know completely inside out, and we know what's involved in it, and when you have everything else beaten, you must still contend with the weather and all these other things, and people like Eamon Ryan and others that don't understand what's involved to keep a farm running. So we'd like to think that we keep a strong independent voice in County Kerry, working on behalf of farmers and particularly young farmers, because the greater point is being lost. They're paying farmers not to farm until their places go wild. It's about food security. It's about providing a service, a very necessary service. Every fella and everyone have to eat. So that's what it's about. And we want to be self-sufficient as a country. We're an island nation, and we don't want to be dependent on Brazil or some other fella that we've no control at all over for supplying our country with food. And there's no one have the quality that this country have or this county.
That's right, is it, Jenny?
That's right, John. So, and we all know when you go into any map now, Kenmare or Gutter Clay or Cashel Island, the quality that's being produced now is second to nowhere. You don't have that in other countries. You have massive feedlots that are inside in desert sheds, 10 and 12 acres. That's not the way this country works. We're grass-based system, like you're saying. It's grass-based and mountain-based system. And to see, there's things done. There's a lot of people that'd like to make a national park out of Kerry altogether. My point is, and I've nothing against the national park, but there's 27 or 8,000 acres in the national park as it is. We've enough of it. If we don't have people, we won't need the park, we won't need nothing. But it is soon going to be the case that if a fire will start in Castle being torn stop till it reaches Moss Gap, because the place will be gone wild, that's a benefit to no one. Because it will burn what's there. They should be encouraging fellas to farm to try and be as sufficient as they can to stay going, to ensure that we have food security going forward.
The rest of them are well dressed this morning. They have to be with the election coming up. But I see Patty here, you have the eye legs on you. Someone have to be here this morning, whatever about elections or anything else, to mind the cows. You do a good bit of the farming.
Yeah, well, I suppose I used to be the boy at home all the time, even going back to when Jackie ran for the Dáil. I suppose I was 10 years of age that time in 97, and I used to cycle back to the farm here and cycle up to the farm in Ray just to see after the cattle while there'd be a whole load of other things.
What type of farming do you do here now, Patty?
Well, it's mainly suckler farming here in the Rooty Valley, John. I suppose there'd be a share of our neighbours across the way, the Murphys and the Nails, do milking, but to be mainly suckler farming.
What breed of suckler cows have you?
We have a mixture of cows. We would have Hereford Cross, Black Whiteds, Limousines, Shirleys, but the main man would be the Shirley Bull here all the
And are you
time.
Shirley Bull or AI?
And I suppose we would have bought the Shirley Bull there a couple of years ago off great friends of ours there, Pod Looney, who recently passed away. We were friends with him all our life. His son Pat Looney does the contracting here for us now, and we do AI as well there. Our neighbour Michael Rans does the AI for us.
And the heavy cabin cameras, how do you know, like, is there someone here all night or do you have cameras up? Or?
Well, they'd be on about the best inventions ever, but definitely the calving camera has to be.
Yeah.
I suppose when there'd be a cow going near calving there before, I'd be up there maybe 10 times during the night.
Yeah.
But now with the calving camera, even before I come down into the yard, I stop back at the church in the village and I check the camera, and you'd get a better gauge of the cattle and how they're doing before you come down into the yard.
Do a few sheep as well, Pat, here.
Huh?
Do a few sheep.
We've sheep as well. Jackie used to keep sheep in the mountain, and then my brother farms them sheep now, and my grandfather in Banan had sheep as well. So we're familiar with them too.
Danny, you weren't always beef farmers, you were milking cows up the bog road, were you?
Well, certainly yes, because if you go back to the time in 1973, calves were being given away that time. We were suckling that time. So we decided that we'd have to do something better to survive at that time. And we were milking. And we were milking from 1973 to 2002, which is 29 years. Only the help that we had at that time with the young lads that were getting strong, and my uncle Dan and my father, we were milking the cows all the time, and we depended on the milk so much. But things changed. The price of milk dropped. There was some, and the rules got stricter, and it was harder to pass the test. And then the winters got longer. It was in the home place up above. The cows were maybe inside from October till May, and that wouldn't work or wouldn't pay. So we were more or less had to give it up in 2002, and we've been suckling since.
Right, then you're known as the Rays. How do you get the name of Rays, and where do you farm your always?
Well, the story is, and the honest truth is, that the Ray comes from our home place above in the Bog Road, which I'm very proud to say that I'm from. It is a place called Rakeshlock, and that there were so many Healys in Kilgarvan at that time that to distinguish them, there were different Healys, or the Healy Atties, or the Dan Jims and the Jimmy Jims and the Timmuses and all them, and that's how to distinguish people. We were known as the Healys from Ray, and my father became known as Jackie Ray more so than Jackie Healy Ray, and I've been very proud to have farmed up there with him, because when he started going for politics and got elected politics when he became a councillor in 1973, I was the fella at home that time ensuring, trying to do my best to keep the place going, and I was proud to be by his side all the years that he was elected, and proud to have got my knowledge and experience from him. And I believe going into this election, I have more experience than any of the other candidates in the field, because I feel being with him in agriculture, being with him in machinery and in the local pub over here, I feel that I'm well placed to represent the people of Kerry, and indeed the people of Ireland, and many of the national issues that come to the fore. No, this is a farming page, but again I have to stress the importance of what's happening tomorrow, because I believe that I have the knowledge and the experience to represent farmers locally and nationally. I know the issues because I'm down on top of them and get them firsthand, and that's why I believe I'm best placed to represent the farming community and all the people that derive their incomes off of the farmers. I'm supportive of them as well.
Conor, we had there on the radio yesterday. Today is the day before the election. You're low enough in the poll, Denny. You'll be up against it to retain your seat.
Well, certainly, and I've known that from the very start, because there's so many candidates running. I really am up against it. And there's polls every day, and they're changing. But the only poll that will count is the ballot box tomorrow, Friday the 29th of November. And if the vote doesn't go into the box for me and number one, it won't come out on Saturday in the swimming pool in Killarney. So I'm calling on all farmers and all the people that depend on farming, and I'm calling on everyone to ensure that I be allowed to continue representing the people. I have done my best day and night, week after week. I never miss anything important in Darlene. I know the issues, and I'm begging and pleading with me. Don't let me go down on this occasion. I want to continue doing the same as what I have been doing, and I'll say it loud and clear. I mean what I say, and there's no pulling back when I have something to say on behalf of the people that asked me here locally to highlight different issues. I'll continue to doing that unimpeded. No one will muzzle me, ministers or Taoiseachs or anyone else. I'll continue to represent the people to the best of my ability if I'm elected again this time.
Hey, you have a small area, I see there on the map, you're cornered in enough. You haven't a big area to get the votes from, or tight enough in the area of Kerry, the Barth, Kerry, East Kerry mostly.
No one understands that better than me, John. And I'm really depending on the people that are on the western side of my constituency. I only go a mile back the road here, and I'm going outside of my area in the agreement that I have with Michael. So I'm really depending on every vote that can come my way in that restricted area, because I do need to get and I know it has been a very good area to me, but certainly I don't want any slippage. If it could be possible to get more votes, I do need them, because there's so many other candidates running against me, and it's so very hard. And I want to thank my lads here and my girls, and indeed my wife, all the people that are doing the work for me in and day out. And I have to say, with Mara and Johnny as elected councillors, with the team I have in the office, I believe we're providing a full and complete service to all the people all over the county. And I'll continue to do that and represent Kerry, because I am Kerry, and I'm proud to represent the people of Kerry, and no one comes before the people of Kerry with me.
You know, Johnny, you're providing a lot of local employment in the machinery. You're a bit like a factory.
I don't know, John, about a factory, but we're doing our best, and we're very proud to do so, and I'm delighted to be, working and operating out of our base here at home, and I'm delighted a lot of the people that are working with me now, and Dan and Patty started with my father, and some of them started with my grandfather. There's some of them there up to 40 years, so that's why we've continued, and we're very grateful for the work we get, and we like it, and it works well with the farming, and we're very proud to have people working in our own county, and we do a lot of work in Cork and Limerick and other places. But yes, our main base is here in Kilgarvan, and we're very proud of that. My grandfather started that business in 1956, and we hope to be there in 2056 to be from the wanted sign. So we're proud of that, John.
Of course, your father, Jackie Ray, was a well-known, not alone was he a politician, he was a well-known cyclist. I see him going Kinmere Sports in an All-Ireland 5-mile championship, and the broadcaster that time, he was called Mikey Michael. He shouted out, Jackie Healy-Ray Kilgarvan has gone into the lead. For the 5-mile. Well, he played hurling, he was in the great Kilgarvan teams that won the 3 Kerry senior hurlings. He was known then as John Healy, didn't he?
Well, at the very start he was, but I have to say he was good and great at everything that he went at. Whether it was cycling, whether it was running.
Running 100 yards.
Yeah, and I remember him playing in
he
some.
cut the head, he'd pull the hand.
Well, what I remember about him, if the ball was going out to the corner flag, he'd pass them all, going out for it, and when he'd be coming in, he'd pass them out again, coming in, and he was always dangerous and always accounted for himself well on the hurling field. Then, whether it was music, Cultus, and playing the accordion or playing the saxophone, or he was involved in a band here with Whitey Gallivan and Dermot Hickey. He was good at all them things, and he brought the flag to Kilgarvan on numerous occasions.
The East Coast Kilgarvan never see in 1972, the Munster ones.
Even the Munster flag was in Kilgarvan, and you couldn't see the street on any part of it. Cars couldn't get up or down because it was black with people, and I remember that so very well.
You usually close the bar early.
The bar,
Saw it all.
it was harder to find the bar closed because that was the hardest thing. It was always open and available, and he made sure of that.
There was bars upstairs in every room. Whenever you
Well,
went there was
on
bars
one
in it.
occasion, two costly bands arrived that were double booked, and one of them was trying to go home because they said that they'd have to be paid without playing. Well, he said if he'll have to be paid, he'll have to play upstairs. So they played upstairs in a big room that we had there at that time, and it was packed all night. And I think it was the Dublin City Ramblers were in the lounge, and the bars were upstairs. Both of them played that night in Healy Ray's bar in Kilgarvan. There were so many different things that he tried, and most times he succeeded in whatever he went at. He absolutely tried everything, and he was the best at what he was at. They gave him no hope at all in 1997. They said he'd only get his council vote, and that'd be as far as he tried to get a nomination first from Bertie, but they left him down. And since I believe that Fianna Fáil walked away from who they were that time, Fianna Fáil, because we're representing, and he did represented the local people, and that he kept in touch with the people. Some of them, when they go up to Dublin, they forget about the people, and they sit down and smoke fags and different things outside the door. He never did that. He always went into the Taoiseach and the ministers of the day to get what he needed to help the people that he was representing. He was best at that, and not alone did he get his council vote, he got over 7,200 and something odd votes. He topped the poll in 1997.
Hated John O'Donoghue.
Ahead of who later became the Count Corley, and a senior minister. He topped the poll against all the odds because the people knew him. The people knew that he always told the truth, and that's what we're about, is telling the truth. That's what we want to do, and nothing else.
Mr. John Donoghue, and he was a good operator and a good politician, but I suppose he was one of the fellas that described the Greens to the best, or he had the best description for him. He was Ashton Radio 1, I think, one morning, something about the Green Party, and he dismissed them anyway, but he said there were three hugging, usually eating hippies.
What breed of animals are these here, Patty, in front of us? Fine animals.
These are Shirleys off a mixture of cows there, as you can see, John, Limousin, Shirley, and Hereford Cross. These are they'll be 2 years old now in the springtime. We'll keep maybe 5 or 6 of them for replacements, and the rest will be fattened off to the factory under 24 months of age. These are cows that have been recently dried off and their calves weaned, and they'll be calving down in the springtime. As you can see, there's 2 Limousins, a Shirley, 2 Shirleys, and an Angus. So you say there, John, you see young calves here.
Yes, young calves here.
Yeah, there's young calves here, John. What we do actually is we calve the first calving heifers down in the autumn because they're very time consuming, just to have them out of the way before the rest of the cows go calving in the springtime.
Would you have trouble with mastitis?
We used to have trouble with mastitis years ago with more like the cows here, like the black whiteds off the British Friesians, but I guess their offspring now would be the Shirleys, and they'd be less prone to mastitis.
Yes, they'd have less milk.
John.
I see a grab here by you, Patty. Is it a good grab?
That's a fine shear grab actually, John. It's quite old now. We actually bought it off, my father Denny bought it off our neighbour here, Michael Reynolds, maybe about 15 years ago. As you can see, there's been a bit of work done to it. George Donovan, our mechanic, has replaced all the hoses now, I would say, at this stage, and the blade, and Moss comes to edge the blade there, whatever it needs to be. And then these are all cows over here that their calves have been sold there during the, I guess, the late summer or autumn.
They're big cows, Patty.
Yeah, they're a mixture cows now. I guess they're a lot bigger than the cows going back. I guess there's limousines and Shirleys, and there's still a share of Hereford Cross and a couple of Anguses in there in the back. So it's kind of a mixture.
I notice here in the yard seem to be all 4 tractors. Is all 4 tractors you have?
Yeah, it's mostly all 4 tractors. I guess when they started out, it was Massey Ferguson's, like the Grey 20 or the 35X or the 65. But I guess they bought the Ford 46, as long as I remember, back in 1978, and they bought the 7610. Then Jackie did, and myself and the father bought that off Pat Healy and Macroom in 1999, the 7840, and I guess that's nearly 25 years ago now, and it's still going fine.
I see no bales here in the yard. It's a big long pit of silage. I see it all pit here, Pat.
It's all pit here, John. Yeah, I guess my father, Denny, and Johnny and Dan, the brothers, they cut the silage there. We still have the single chop harvester. I guess it's a short draw from the fields below up into the yard, and we can go at it when we need to go at it. So it is great like that.
Right close to the coach, yeah.
And as you can see, it is right in the yard here where we feed the cows, so it's very convenient and quick.
I see across here the Vale here, across here, Murphy's and Neil's. There's a great Vale of land here along the river route there.
Yeah, well, I guess there was, they tell you that the route they could compare with any land in the country, but as you can see, it is a very narrow strip of land, John, that goes from the main road down to the Rooty River.
And in
And
Kilgarvan.
it runs from Kilgarvan into Kimere.
This is one of the best areas of land in Kilgarvan. Of course, our Tilly Castle is just back the road here, about a quarter of a mile. And it was built here on the best of land here, along limestone land along here. All the ways into Kinmere, Patty, is it?
That's right, John. It's good land, but I guess the holdings would be very small. You know,
Yeah,
you'd
the
be
acreage would
talking
be
about
small, yeah.
30 or 40 acres is what every fellow would have here in along the road. And I guess going back the years, you probably know that farms like this would have been sought after, and you could make it, you know, a living and raise your family off holdings of this size. But that's no longer the case. You have to be working full time now and keep the farm going at the same time.
There's a Spiro feed here, in here now. To the fine, they're a great company. We got a big spin there from they're based in Mala.
That's right, John. Yeah, I'd say along with the calving camera, there in the last couple of years, it's one of the best things that we've put into the farmyard. Whenever you need it,
Right close to the shed here as well.
close to the shed, and we actually call it the hole in the wall now. Anytime you need to grab a bucket, it's right there at your hand, and it's good from a pest control point of view as well.
Yeah. That's it now from Healy Ray's farm. Hopefully he'll all turn out tomorrow and get the Rays elected. As we said, Danny could be in a bit of problem, but hopefully he will be elected. See you the next time.
What have you done, boys?
To hell with YouTube. I will not sound so simple.